If you feel like you're constantly behind with money, like no matter how much you make, you just can't seem to get ahead, there's a good chance it's not just your income, it's your habits. Because wealthy people don't just make more money, they manage it differently. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 7 common money habits that are keeping people poor. Habits I see over and over again. Habits that sneak up on people and slowly drain their financial potential. Some of these things are things I used to do myself. Others are patterns I've watched friends and clients struggle with for years. And the truth is, you don't have to be perfect. You just need to start catching these habits early so you can flip the script on your future. Let's jump in. Habit number 1, spending more than you earn. This one's the foundation, and still, a lot of people don't track it. Spending more than you earn is how so many people end up living paycheck to paycheck, regardless of income. You might think, well, I don't live extravagantly. I don't buy luxury brands or fly first class. But here's the thing. Lifestyle creep is real. That $7 coffee here, the upgraded iPhone there, subscriptions you forgot you had or maybe too lazy to end. It all adds up. And the crazy part, you can make $60,000 a year or $160,000 a year and still be broke if your expenses outpace your income. Wealthy people treat their money like a business. They know their cash flow. They know their numbers. They make sure there's a gap between what comes in and what goes out. And they invest that gap. If you're spending everything you earn, or worse, more than you earn through credit cards, you're digging a hole that gets harder to climb out of over time. So how do you fix it? Track your income, track your spending, even if it's just for 30 days. Use a spreadsheet, use an app, use a notebook. The only thing that matters is that you use something that you can stick to. But once you see the numbers in front of you, you can't unsee them. It's the first step to building wealth. Not getting a raise, not finding some new stock tip. It's knowing how to live on less than you make and doing it consistently. Now, before we cover the worst habit people make that keeps them poor, I ask that you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. It's 100% free and tells YouTube to share the videos with more people that could use the help. Thank you so much. And let's get back to the video. Habit number 2, financing your lifestyle with debt. Let's talk about one of the most dangerous habits out there, using debt to feel rich today while making yourself poor tomorrow. Credit cards, those buy now, pay later programs, financing furniture, phones, vacations even, all of it creates this illusion that you can afford a lifestyle when really you're just borrowing from your future self. So let's be clear. I'm not Dave Ramsey. Not all debt is bad. A mortgage on a modest home? Sure. A reasonable student loan for a high ROI degree? Maybe. Using a credit card that you pay off in full every month for points? That's fine. But using debt to buy things you can't pay for in cash today? That's the trap. And here's the problem with it. Every time you finance something for comfort or convenience, you're adding interest to it. That $1,500 couch that you put on a credit card at 22% APR, you only make minimum payments, you'll end up paying double over time. It's the same thing for mortgages. For a $400,000 house at today's rates, you'll end up paying over $400,000 in additional interest over 30 years. Most of that is in the first 10. And when that balance piles up, it doesn't just cost you money, it costs you options. The more debt you carry, the more your future income is already spoken for. And that means you can't invest, you can't save, you can't take risks, you're trapped. So what do the wealthy do instead? They flip the model. They live on less than they make, they delay gratification, and they use debt only as a strategic tool, not a lifestyle crutch. If you're in debt right now, don't panic. You're not broken. You're just stuck in a system that encourages you to buy before you earn. Credit card companies pay trillions of dollars in advertisements to trap people into always having a balance. Start with awareness, list out your debts, make a plan, and most importantly, don't add more. You don't need to pay it all off tomorrow, but you do need to stop the bleeding today. Habit number 3, not tracking your spending. Here's a habit that seems harmless, but is quietly ruining people's financial future. Not knowing where your money's going. I can't tell you how many people I've talked to who say, I don't make enough to save. When in reality, they just don't know what they're spending all their money on. And I get it. Tracking your spending doesn't feel fun. It feels like work. It feels like restriction. But here's the truth. You can't fix what you don't measure. Imagine you're running a business. If you had no idea how much your overhead was, how long would you stay in business? Not very long. So why do you treat your personal finances any differently? What do the wealthy do? They track every dollar. They have budgets. They categorize their spending. Not because they're cheap, because they want control. Control leads to confidence. Confidence leads to smart decisions. And smart decisions are what make you wealthy. Now, do you need to track your spending for the rest of your life? No. But you should absolutely do it long enough to understand your patterns, Try it for just 30 days. Use an app like Monarch Money, Copilot, Origin, EveryDollar, even a simple spreadsheet. But it doesn't matter what tool you use. What matters is consistency. You'll be shocked at how much clarity it gives you, where you're overspending, where you can cut back, where your money's actually going, not where you think it's going. The goal isn't to feel guilty, it's to get informed. And once you're informed, you can build a system that supports the life you actually want. Habit number 4, ignoring your future self. Let's talk about something that most people commonly overlook when it comes to money, their future self. See, every decision you make with your money today is a vote for the kind of life you're going to live tomorrow. But most people don't think like that. They live in the now. They spend everything they make or more. They assume retirement is something their future self will figure out. And then one day they wake up at 55 or 60, no savings, no investments, no plan, just regret they didn't start sooner. The wealthy, they don't wait until later to start thinking about later. They automate their future starting early. Even if it's just $50 a month, they invest it and they let time do the heavy lifting. Because here's the math. If you invest $300 a month, starting at the age of 25, earn just 8% annually, you'll have nearly $500,000 by the time you're 55. If you wait until you're 35 to start, that number drops by more than half. That's the power of time. That's why ignoring your future self is one of the most expensive habits out there. So if you've been putting this off, don't feel bad. We weren't taught this stuff in school, but you know now, and that means you could start now. Start by opening a Roth IRA or 401k. Start by putting $50 a month into a low-cost index fund of your choice. Start by picturing the life you want at 60 and making choices today that lead to it. It's not about being perfect. It's about being intentional. Your future self is depending on you. Habit number 5, lifestyle creep. All right, this next one is sneaky, and it goes like this. You get a raise. You start making more money. And instead of saving it or investing it, you just start spending more. You upgrade your car because yours is a few years old. You move to a more expensive apartment in a better neighborhood. You start eating out 5 nights a week. You get the newest iPhone, better clothes, the subscriptions you barely use. And before you know it, your expenses have caught up with your new income. Or worse, even past it. You're making more, but feeling just as broke. That's lifestyle creep. This habit keeps so many people stuck because they think they have an income problem, when really it's a spending problem. Wealthy people understand this. When their income goes up, they don't automatically increase their spending. They upgrade slowly, intentionally. They expand their lifestyle after they've increased their savings rate, not before. In fact, many high-income earners never get wealthy because they let lifestyle creep eat their future. Now, don't get me wrong. It's okay to enjoy the money you make, but you've got to build your foundation first. If your savings rate is still under 15%, you probably don't even need to upgrade anything just yet. You need to buy time, buy freedom, not a new car that loses value the second you drive it off the lot. So the next time you get a raise, celebrate it, but don't immediately inflate your lifestyle. Use the momentum to get ahead. Your future self will thank you. Habit number 6, never investing. This one might be the most damaging habit of all. So many people avoid investing because they think it's too risky. I don't know enough. I'll start later. But here's the truth. Not investing is the riskiest move of all. Because if your money is just sitting in a checking or savings account, it's actually losing value every single year due to inflation. I'm sure you've heard this before. Meanwhile, wealthy people, they don't just save money, they grow it. They invest it. The stock market, real estate, index funds, their own businesses, even themselves through books, courses, mentors. Because they know one thing, you'll never save your way to wealth. You need to let your money work while you sleep. And no, you don't need to be a stock picking genius. In fact, the smartest investors usually keep it simple. A Roth IRA, a 401k, low-cost index funds like VTI or an S&P 500 ETF like VU, consistent monthly contributions. You don't need thousands to start. You can start with $50 a month. You can automate it. You can learn as you go. The hardest part is getting started. But the earlier you begin, the more time your money has to compound. So if you've been putting it off, this is your sign to change that. Start small. Start scared if you have to. Just start. Because the cost of waiting is way higher than the cost of making a few beginner mistakes. Habit number 7, keeping up with others. Let's be real for a minute. A lot of people nowadays spend a lot of money. They're trying to look rich. They're stuck in the habit of keeping up with everyone else, keeping up with the Joneses, trying to match their neighbor's new truck, their coworkers' vacation photos, their cousin's Instagram lifestyle. Here's a quote by Dave Ramsey. We buy things we don't need with money we don't have to impress people we don't even like. Here's the brutal truth. A lot of people you're comparing yourself to, they're probably in debt. They're probably stressed. They may not even own half the stuff they're showing off. Did you know there's an industry about making people look rich? mansions and luxury cars you can book by the hour for filming for Instagram and TikTok. Wealthy people don't play that game. They play a different game entirely. They drive older cars if it means more money in investments. They skip the designer brands because they care more about freedom than flexing. They understand that money buys options, not status. You've got to stop measuring your success by someone else's highlight reel. And here's the reality. You can either look rich today or be rich tomorrow. But almost no one gets to do both. So stop chasing the image, start chasing the impact. Set goals that matter to you. Build habits that align with your values. The moment you stop trying to impress others is the moment you realize your future is more important. All right, if you made it this far, you now know 7 of the biggest money habits that are quietly keeping people broke. Living paycheck to paycheck, skipping an emergency fund, impulse spending, ignoring debt, letting lifestyle creep sneak in, never investing, and chasing the illusion of status instead of real wealth. And the good news, you don't need to be perfect to fix this. You just need to be intentional. We all start somewhere. And trust me, very few build wealth overnight. But if you start replacing even one of these habits today with a better one, you're going to be shocked at where you are a year from now. Not just financially, but mentally, emotionally, even spiritually. So here's your next step. Pick one habit we talked about today, just one, and work on improving it this week. Track your spending, start a small emergency fund, set up your first investment. Whatever it is, just get it in motion. Because once you start moving forward, momentum kicks in. And before long, you'll stop surviving with money. You'll start thriving with it. If this video helped you in any way, hit the like button and share it with a friend. The one thing I've learned over the years is that you never know when someone could use the help. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.